You may be saying, dude, is this the stairway to heaven? And I would say, no, it's the stairway up to the second floor. Bummer, huh? The reason I chose this staircase is that day by day, step by step, you'll reach your goals. I showed you the top of the staircase and the light, but it doesn't mean that you were there. Just like your goals, you have to start from the very bottom, seeing the goal ahead, but not being up to that level of growth or performance yet. And that's the problem we all have. We like to dream, we like to have our goals, but we don't like to wait, we don't like to work, we don't like to do what it takes to get to the next step. We have to plan, and we have to keep continually going in that direction. Consistency is the key. Keep pursuing it, keep going after it. If you don't do that, you're going to lose heart, you're also going to lose momentum. Now I know there's days where you can't go after your goal, there's days that you can't gain momentum where maybe you can't do anything towards your goal. We all have jobs at life and children and situations that come up, that's fine. But what I'm trying to say is you have to stay consistent to pursue your goal. You have to really want it. And that's really the first thing. Is the goal important to you? Is whatever you're pursuing so important that you'll spend time and you'll move other things out of your spaces of time to do them? Is it so important that you will spend as much time with your friends, or you may not spend as much money when you're shopping, or not watching TV is a good goal in itself? So how do you know your goal is worth pursuing, or how do you know if you're actually going to go all the way through it to the end? Well, the Bible says if you're going to pursue a goal, count the cost. That basically means how much is it going to cost you to do it? How much is it going to cost you in time, materials, money, energy? And is it going to be worth all that it takes to pursue it to the very end? Now, if you're asking yourself, can I pursue it, or do I really want to pursue it, then that's, of course, the question. That's what you have to decide. You have to decide how important it is for you. A little piece of advice: whatever time you think it's going to take to pursue your goal, triple it. And it may not take that time, it may not be triple the time, but be prepared for that. Be prepared to go the long run. Because for me, I've had many plans where I thought, well, it's going to take a certain amount of time. And when it started going past that time, you get all stressed out and think it's never going to happen. Well, that's not true. Just because the goal you have went past the allotted time that you set doesn't mean you shouldn't keep pursuing it. It just means that you need to adjust the end goal. Part of holding to your goal and sustaining it to the end is being flexible. Every day I make plans, and many times the time I set for it, or the number of things I want to do during the day, chores, duties, I get maybe 1/3 of them done, and that's fine. The main thing is you get something done. The main thing is you go toward the goal. Now you may say, well, I didn't do the goal that I had planned. I didn't do the thing that was the most important to me. Well, then that's what you have to adjust. You have to decide what is the most important and how much time do you want to spend toward that. Bottom line is we all have 24 hours in the day, and if we really want something bad enough, we'll do it. You can look at anybody and see where they spend their time. Wherever they spend their time, small or big things, is where their priorities are. Now, they may be doing some of those things for other people, but it's still their priority. Wherever they're spending, I guess you could say, wherever you're spending your leisure time, that's a good indicator of what's important to you. One example could be you're going to college and you have a side job to help to gain income or to sustain you to pay for college and of course to live while you're doing your studies. So that shows where your goals are. Your goals are toward college. Another example could be, well, you go to college and you just party and you waste money and you don't care and then your grades suffer. Then it shows where your priorities are, and it's not on college. Another thing the Bible says is write the vision and make it plain. It's going to help solidify it in your soul. You will have a much better chance of fulfilling your goal if you write down your steps toward the goal, the reasons for your goal, And whatever the cost is in every area, every facet of that, write that down. And then you can go over it, you can reread it, and it's good to do that. Especially if it's a goal, like a dream, or what you would consider a passion. A lot of us work many years in something maybe we don't want to do because we thought at the time that's the only thing we could do. But if you want something more to the goal, especially if you're working and you're trying to pursue maybe a business or something on the side, because you're spending so much energy working, it's going to be very hard to put the energy into the other thing. And usually that's what happens when you're starting something. Your goal may be to be totally into a new business, but you have your job, you have to work. Now, but that doesn't mean, and for the time being, you will have to do both, and you have to work double hard. And that's just the reality of it. Unless you have other people that can help you with money, or just to pursue that, whatever ways they can help you to pursue the goal, you're going to have to do most of that yourself. You're going to have to put in the time, the energy, and the determination to go to the next step. And that means at first doing the job and doing the goal. That's just the reality of it. We have to work hard. Many people don't want to work hard for the goal. They just want the goal to seemingly just appear. Value the new thing unless you work hard for it. And that's really how it separates the men from the boys, so to speak. Because many people will not work hard to pursue something that's bigger, that's important. And the important things are the ones that are going to take a lot of time. They're going to take a lot of planning. They're going to take a lot of pursuing and energy. So remember that, and don't get discouraged when things don't happen right away. Because there will be a time, if you keep going, if you keep being consistent, if you keep pursuing it, that you will get to the goal that you're after. And then the other thing will fall away. You'll be able to get rid of the job. You'll be able to move fully into the business. The dream that you had will finally happen, but it's going to take a lot of work. And anyone who has ever tried to do that and move on from a job to a business or to something bigger or different knows that that's the way it is. And we need to stop thinking that things are going to be just given to us or easy. They're not. If you want to change, you have to change. If you want something better, you got to make it better. And where is the energy going to come from? Well, you need to rest, even though it may seem like, and there'll be times, of course, you can't rest. But eventually you'll come to a point where you will be in trouble. You will have no energy left unless you maintain a good rest schedule. Make sure you eat right. Make sure you plan for the normal things. Don't go wildly pursuing the new goal without sustaining yourself. Go level by level. Go step by step. That's why I showed the staircase. Go step by step. Each step is a level to the goal, to the light the light you're trying to pursue. Stay on the staircase. Stay on the path, and don't worry if it takes longer. Just don't go backwards. Just if you got to hold on that one step for a while, stay on the one step. But don't go backwards. But if you go backwards, come back up the step. Reverse. The saying, if you fall off the horse, get back on it. And that's what we all have to do. We're gonna, you're gonna fail at certain times. You're gonna fall at certain times. You're gonna feel frustrated at certain times, and that's all normal. None of us are perfect or have all the energy in the world or all the time in the world. There's gonna be times where we feel so frustrated we just want to give up. But I know if the goal is worthwhile to you, you won't give up. Because if it's that important, that's the test. If it's that important, you'll pursue it to the end. But if it's not that important, it will fall away. So many facets and so many things that we can prioritize, and that's basically the bottom line. You have to decide what is the priority for you. You have to decide what's important for you. Count the cost. Count the whole thing from beginning to end, what you think it will cost, and then reevaluate it again. And stay determined, stay focused on the goal, step by step, keep going forward. Lazy people don't make it to the end. Step by step, keep going toward the mark, and eventually you will get there. So that's it for now. Thank you for watching this video, and God bless.